Who shot two Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses received his prison sentence today. Melissa and Mark Hortman were murdered at their home last June. The same man tried to kill John, Yvette, and Hope Hoffman at their house.
And Vance Boelter aimed to kill even more DFL lawmakers. Fox 9's Corin Hoggard was in the courtroom for sentencing today. He's joining us live from the Minneapolis federal courthouse now. So Corin, a lot of eyes were on this case. This punishment really didn't come as a surprise, right?
No, Simone, not much of a surprise at all. The judge, he sentenced the assassin to 2 consecutive life sentences plus 40 more years in federal prison, so he'll never get out. That was exactly what was agreed to in a plea deal. It's also the longest this judge has ever sentenced any defendant, he said, after thousands of cases, and he said it was well deserved. On the other hand, there were some people in the courtroom, some survivors and family and friends who didn't think it was enough. That was especially true of Mark Hortman's family. His brother, his sister, and his father all said they'd rather see this man put to death.
So, Corin, I know it was an incredibly emotional day. Friends and family members delivered a lot of statements in court. And what stood out the most?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it stood out. I think to me, you know, I've talked to a lot of these people several times over the last 14 months since last June. And, you know, I think that what struck me the most was that they've been hiding a lot of their pain. They've shown some pain, but I think that they've been really disguising how much this hurt. And today, they really let the judge and the killer know what a black hole has been left behind. And, you know, that's especially true of the Hortman siblings. We have a quote here from Corin Hoggard, a son to Mark and Melissa Hortman, and he says that, quote, the blood that he saw that day, that was spilled, it's the last thing I see before I sleep and the first thing I see when I wake, end quote. His sister Sophie said, quote, my entire life had been shattered in 30 seconds. My parents were dead. The dog had been shot multiple times. My brother was wrecked, and we had to stand up and keep going, end quote. Now, the Hortman siblings lived in fear and basically tried to hide until police caught the gunman more than a day after the assassinations. And then they had to put the family dog Gilbert down because of his injuries. Senator John Hoffman, his wife Yvette, and their daughter Hope also shared their physical and emotional pain, but also their determination to fight back on that day and still to this day. The senator said, quote, the defendant did not simply decide to take life. He attempted to silence people and send a message that violence is stronger than democracy.
And Corin, when you think of the magnitude of this case and how much time has passed now, and just to look at some of those statements you just mentioned there, what do you think that people will take away from this sentencing today? And after all this time, did an apology come today?
Yes, the assassin did give a one-sentence apology in which he basically said that he was truly sorry for all the pain he caused to all these people. But I have to say, I was watching him throughout this hearing, and he never once looked at the people whose pain he caused, not during his statement and not during theirs. And, you know, that really might make people question his sincerity. And a lot of people were actually focused on his failures, really. The failure to carry out a lot of the murders that he wanted to carry out. His failure to flip the legislature to being a GOP majority here in Minnesota. And really, for me, what stood out the most was just hearing again about the strength and determination in the recovery of the Hoffman family. And also hearing again what great people and parents Mark and Melissa Hortman were. Their family and friends really remembered Mark for his smile and his creativity, and they remembered Melissa for the humanity that she showed in a business and a career where it's often kind of hidden or disappeared.
She was a force, and her husband was a wonderful man, and the world is a poorer place without them both, so we will miss them forever.
That's just special. They were loved that much. And we love them so much. We miss them.
And Melissa's mother also said, you know, this is over, but it's never really over. And she's referring to her emotions, but that's also true right now of this court case. The federal case is over, but that just means that the state case is just about to begin. Hennepin County has a case against the assassin, similar charges. It's really just getting underway. The early hearing will be in a little bit less than 2 weeks, and the assassin will be back in court.
Yeah, still another layer to this, but people will not forget what happened on that day.
There is just so much pain that is left behind. All right, thank you, Corin Hoggard, tonight. And also